Imagine standing in the middle of a vast desert. As far as your eyes can see, there's nothing but sand and rocks. The sun beats down on you, and the heat is almost unbearable. You can't help but wonder how anything could survive in such a harsh environment. But what if I told you that this barren land is now being transformed into a green oasis? That's right, Australia is regreening its deserts, and the results are nothing short of miraculous. Desertification is a global problem that affects more than 100 countries, and it's caused by a combination of factors such as climate change, deforestation, and overgrazing. Desertification is not only devastating for the environment, but it also has a significant impact on the economy and society. Desertification can lead to soil erosion, loss of biodiversity, and water scarcity, which can result in crop failure and famine, displacement of people, and conflicts over resources. To combat desertification, Australia is implementing initiatives and programs to regreen its deserts. These efforts involve planting trees, restoring degraded lands, and implementing sustainable land management practices. Through these initiatives, Australia is turning its once barren lands into thriving ecosystems that support wildlife, communities, and local economies. In this video, we'll explore how Australia is regreening its deserts and the impact these efforts are having on the environment, economy, and society. We'll look at some of the success stories and challenges that come with regreening efforts, and we'll discuss the potential impact regreening could have on climate change. So join me as we discover how Australia is turning its deserts into green oases, one step at a time. Desertification is a process where fertile land gradually turns into a desert due to a combination of factors including climate change, deforestation, and overgrazing. It is a serious problem that affects many parts of the world, including Australia. Desertification has several negative impacts on the environment, economy, and society. One of the main effects is the loss of biodiversity. As fertile land turns into desert, many plant and animal species can no longer survive in the harsh conditions. This, in turn, can have a cascading effect on the ecosystem, with some species becoming extinct and others struggling to adapt. Desertification also has economic impacts. As land becomes less fertile, it becomes harder to grow crops, which can lead to food shortages and higher food prices. This can be particularly devastating for communities that rely on agriculture as their main source of income. Additionally, desertification can lead to soil erosion, which can make it harder to build infrastructure such as roads and buildings. Finally, desertification has social impacts as well. As food becomes scarce and economic opportunities decline, people may be forced to migrate to other areas in search of work and resources. This can lead to conflict over resources and the displacement of vulnerable communities. Overall, desertification is a serious problem that can have far-reaching impacts on the environment, economy, and society. It is crucial that we take action to combat desertification and protect the world's ecosystems. The solution to desertification in Australia is regreening, and it involves restoring degraded land by planting trees, shrubs, and other vegetation. There are several initiatives and programs that have been implemented to regreen Australia's deserts, with the goal of restoring biodiversity, improving soil health, and mitigating climate change. One of the most significant initiatives is the National Land Care Program, which is a partnership between the Australian government and the community to support sustainable agriculture and environmental management. The program has several components, including the 20 Million Trees program, which aims to plant 20 million trees by 2020, and the National Land Care Program Sustainable Agriculture Small Grants, which provide funding for farmers to implement sustainable land management practices. Another program that is making a significant impact is the Greening Australia program, which is a non-profit organization that works with landholders, community groups, and governments to restore landscapes and biodiversity. Greening Australia has several initiatives, including the Reef Aid program, which aims to improve water quality in the Great Barrier Reef by reducing runoff from agricultural land, and the Habitat 141 program, which aims to restore 100,000 hectares of habitat for threatened species by 2030. In addition to these initiatives, there are also several government-funded projects that are working to regreen Australia's deserts, such as the Regenerative Agricultural Program, which aims to increase soil carbon levels and improve water retention, and the Carbon Farming Initiative, which incentivizes farmers to adopt sustainable land management practices that sequester carbon. Overall, Regreening is proving to be an effective solution to desertification in Australia, with many initiatives and programs working towards this goal. By restoring degraded land and planting vegetation, Australia is not only improving the health of the environment, but also mitigating the impacts of climate change. Australia's regreening efforts have led to some remarkable success stories, showcasing the impact that regreening can have on the environment, economy, and society. One example is the 2,000 hectare Cloncurry land rehabilitation project in Queensland. The area was previously barren and degraded due to decades of overgrazing and mining activities. However, with the help of regreening techniques such as water harvesting, direct seeding, and erosion control, the land has been transformed into a thriving ecosystem. Native vegetation has returned, soil health has improved, and wildlife has returned to the area. Another success story is the Yarra Yarra Biodiversity Corridor in Western Australia. This project has focused on connecting fragmented bushland areas, creating a continuous corridor of restored and protected native vegetation. Since the project's inception in 2008, over 4,000 hectares of land have been restored, and more than 40 threatened species have returned to the area. The project has also helped to protect water resources, reduce erosion, and provide economic benefits to local communities through ecotourism. Regreening efforts have also had a significant impact on Aboriginal communities in Australia. The Yaljanji people of Queensland have been working on the Jabalbina Yaljanji Aboriginal Corporation's JYAC Rainforest Regeneration Project since 1999. The project has focused on restoring degraded rainforest areas, protecting cultural heritage sites, and providing employment and training opportunities for local people. Thanks to the project's success, the Yaljanji people have regained their connection to the land and culture, and the restored rainforest is now a thriving ecosystem that supports a range of flora and fauna. These success stories demonstrate the power of regreening to transform degraded and barren landscapes into thriving ecosystems that benefit both people and the environment. With continued support and investment in regreening initiatives, Australia and the world can work towards a greener, more sustainable future. While the regreening efforts in Australia's deserts have been successful, they are not without challenges. One of the main challenges is the lack of water, which is crucial for plant growth. In many desert areas, water is scarce, and the existing water sources are often contaminated. Therefore, regreening efforts require innovative methods of water conservation, storage, and usage. One solution is to collect and store rainwater, which can be used to irrigate plants during dry periods. Another solution is to use treated wastewater or desalinated seawater to irrigate plants. Another challenge is the lack of funding and resources. Regreening requires a significant investment of time, money, and manpower. It involves planting trees, installing irrigation systems, and monitoring plant growth. The government, private organizations, and local communities need to work together to provide the necessary funding and resources to support regreening efforts. Furthermore, regreening can also have unintended consequences. For example, if non-native plant species are introduced, they may outcompete native species and disrupt the local ecosystem. Therefore, careful planning and monitoring are essential to ensure that regreening efforts are sustainable and do not have negative impacts on the environment. Looking to the future, there is potential for new technologies and innovations to improve regreening efforts. For example, researchers are exploring the use of drones to plant trees in remote areas, which can save time and resources. In addition, genetic engineering can be used to develop drought-resistant plants that require less water and can thrive in arid conditions. Overall, regreening Australia's deserts is a long-term project that requires ongoing efforts and collaboration. While there are challenges and limitations, the benefits of regreening are significant, including improving soil health, reducing carbon emissions, and promoting biodiversity. With continued support and innovation, Australia's deserts can be transformed into thriving green oases.